What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. We'll focus in on the 2017 Hockey Hall of Fame class, as this is one of my more, I don't say more favorite because that's not a word, but one of my favorite classes of inductees. Although it's not a perfect class, we'll get to that in a second. I really like the fact that Korea and Teemu Selanne are going in together. They really helped make legitimize the Anaheim Ducks as a high-end hockey franchise, that they gave fans in Orange County a taste of, the success it have later on after their first stints were over. And, that they, a lot of good young hockey players are coming out of Southern California these days, and that's in no small part due to the exploits of Korea and Selanne. I thought Korea should have gotten in sooner. I think anyone that argues whether or not Paul Korea is a Hall of Famer is a moron, because if Cam Neely's in with all the injuries he had, and Pavel Bure is in with all the injuries he had, then to withhold Korea is moronic and something that's just, I don't want to talk about it. Obviously, Teemu's Teemu. Him getting in on the first ballot is, shouldn't be a shock to anyone. One of the best goal scorers of all time, 76 goals as a rookie. And by the way, two unbreakable records. These two guys. No rookie will ever break Teemu's record for goals. And Paul Korea had 100 points as a freshman in his only full season of college hockey at the University of Maine. So both those records are safe, if anyone's wondering. Beyond that, I'm really, really happy Mark Recchi's getting in. It's 30 ballot, and he's really deserving candidate. Won cups with 3 teams in 3 different decades. Early 90s with Pittsburgh, 2006 with Carolina, and then ended his career as a Stanley Cup champion with the Boston Bruins. And, you look at the mentorship he had. He really helped mentor guys like Sidney Crosby, ended up getting Malkin in Pittsburgh. And then, during his brief stint in Tampa, really took Stamkos under his wing. And then what he did in Boston with Bergeron and Marchand. The successes that they've had post Recchi's tenure in Boston, you can't overstate the impact he had on that franchise, and really bringing a championship identity, even as an older player, to the Bruins, and being again a key, critical part of why they won that 2011 Stanley Cup. They do not win that cup without the 43-year-old Mark Recchi, and I'll take that to my grave. The things he was able to do in that series and throughout the playoff run, on and off the ice for that team. And again, winning at Carolina, winning it in Pittsburgh, and just being an all-around, great offensive player that seemed to always deliver in the biggest moments. So Rex, stick tap. With Dave Andreychuk, I have been driving the Dave Andreychuk belongs in the Hall of Fame bandwagon for a long time, and that's not, I think Andy, he was one of my favorite players. He was a kid, but 640 goals and not in the Hall of Fame. Like, are you shitting me? Like, come on. And I think that they finally came around to realize, damn, 640 goals, Stanley Cup ring, played a good portion of his career, the dead puck era. That guy belongs in the Hall of Fame. So, again, I really, really like, the 4 players going in terms of, the 4, NHLers. I don't want to, shortchange the other inductees, as Danielle Goyette, who was a 3-time medalist for Canada at the Olympics, is going in. She rightfully belongs there as well. It's good to see more women's hockey players getting in there. And Claire Drake, who's a Canadian college hockey player, or Canadian college hockey coach, excuse me, he's in. What upsets me about this class is Jeremy Jacobs is in the Hall of Fame. Jeremy Jacobs should be tarred and feathered by hockey fans from Boston to fucking Vancouver. Jeremy Jacobs is a low-life piece of shit snake. Literally one of the most hateable and detestable human beings on this planet. The fact that he breathes the same oxygen as me makes my skin crawl. He was responsible for the 3 lockouts we've had. He's just an awful owner. He's the reason my favorite team, the Boston Bruins, has won Stanley Cup ring in the last 40 years because, well, he's a cheap fuck that wouldn't spend the money in the 90s to build a proper team around Bourque and Neely. With guys like Al Iafrate and Joey Mullen, going to contending teams at the time. He wasn't there for any of them. And then by the time they did go to Boston, their bodies were all fucking broken down. Neely's body had gone to shit. And Ray Bourque was, on the back 9 of his career. Although Ray Bourque on the back 9 of his career is still better than almost any defenseman ever played in the league. Again, it's just such a sickening thing. Jeremy Jacobs is not a Hall of Famer. Jeremy Jacobs is a piece of shit. He's a awful, lousy owner and just a despicable human being. And he's in the Hockey Hall of Fame because that's the way things go. So, again, out of all the, inductees, I think, you look at the 4 NHL players, Goyette definitely belongs. Claire Drake was actually one of Ken Hitchcock's mentors, so I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. But it's one of those situations. I just Jeremy Jacobs does not belong in the Hockey Hall of Fame. So we'll see if what the reaction around Boston. I mean, most people in Boston also think that he doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame as well. So when the fans of the team you own unanimously fucking hate you the way everyone hates Jeremy Jacobs, then you've sucked and you're a failure. Anyway, that's all I got. Episode of the Power Play. It was CJ. Stay tuned for episodes for the season and beyond. Later, guys.